We are the project managers. We are proud of it. We shall never get attached to a project. We shall never hate ambiguity and chaos. We shall bring in the predictability and visibility. We shall make life more simple, more beautiful, more meaningful. My name is Dhananjay Gokhale. You can call me DG. First of all, I really wish to appreciate all of you, all the participants, for wonderful active presence throughout the workshop. A few of the participants were really active, and they made the entire community learning, the entire class learning so well. I really appreciate all of them. Their managers and HR, L&D department to make these things happen. This is related to project management program. The fundamental purpose of project management is to bring in the quantitative visibility and predictability in the project. So the name of the workshop or the name of the learning experience that we had conducted, bringing in quantitative visibility and predictability in projects. Now, this particular video is the post-workshop, post-learning experience video. I would be mentioning two things. That one is the expectations from the participants post-workshop, and second is the expectation from the participants' managers. Now for that, let me first quickly tell you what was the overall way of the program that we had conducted. It was a blended approach. We had used this learning management system access given DG Edutainment, in which we had in all 8 sections plus 1 miscellaneous. Now the idea was that participant will go through the modules. Say for example, when the first module, interaction module, because participants used to go through LMS, they used to complete this. For example, initiation, the homework. Now there was a video, there is a quiz, again there was a video, there is a quiz, and then there was also the reference material. This particular reference material is all about project charter, the template of the project charter. Now, what is this project charter? How to define this project charter? Who defines this project charter? Advantages of this project charter? What if we don't do this particular project charter? All these things were explained in the videos, right? So participants have gone through this particular part, and when they came up with their own projects, explaining, writing down the project charter, during the session, we actually refined those. I played different roles. I asked questions. I suggested few things, and then collectively all the participants in the class interacted. So this is what the overall pattern. This was the overall pattern. Now there was a PM oath also. The stakeholders. Then we prepared stakeholder radar. Then we had the visualization. This is a very key competency for any project manager. So there we prepared work breakdown structure, why to prepare work breakdown structure, how to present work breakdown structure, how it is used for engaging the stakeholders. Then we talked about estimates and guesstimates. Fundamentally, the overall focus was active engagement, seeking the active engagement of the stakeholders, and how these techniques in the project management make this happen. Setting the expectations of the stakeholders becomes easy. Now that was the overall focus, and I must say, in fact, those people who did the exercises, case studies, they, I'm sure, definitely from their questions, they have learned a lot. Those people who have not done it, better if they do it. The LMS access is there after even for a few more days. So please do that. The idea is not to complete. The idea is not to submit. The idea is to learn at least one thing and implement it. It matters. Personally, I never expected that each one of you must learn everything within these 15 days, 20 days. Not possible, right? Like in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna has said, Shanaihi Shanaihi Uparamet Buddha Dhruti Gruhitaya. It is a very slow process, yet continuous process. What matters is consistency, speed, focus. So when I think about schedule, when I try preparing the schedule, I also start thinking about the risk, uncertainties involved in that. I also start thinking about the people needed for that, communication needed during some activities. So it is not linear, it is not watertight, it is all comes. Now this is the participant manual. You must have seen now in learning management system, for every module there are some reference manuals given there. Reference pages, hardly 1 or 2 PDF pages. But now if you really see this, The participant manual has all these contents: the project definition, project background information, stakeholder engagement, stakeholder register. Some small notes are given there. How to develop stakeholder radar, what do you mean by deliverables, DBS. Now all these things are explained in learning management system. We have done it in the class, and now participant will have already received this. This is the post workshop, not the reference manual, but I call it as workbook. For example, let's go to the risk. So concept will be revised. Now how to write the risk? The participants have understood that most of the time the risks drafted in the risk register are not risks. There is a way to write the risk. The context matters a lot. Context makes stakeholder appreciate the risk. Now if anyone really wants to improve the implementation of the competency of identifying and articulating the risk, this page will help. Now, idea is not to fill up this particular workbook just for the sake of it, like we generally do it for the audits. Idea is to make use of it so that it becomes a muscle memory. Atakena prayuktena papam jarati purusha. It's a very simple question that Arjuna had asked. Even when the things are so simple, why don't people make use of it? Similar thing happens with project management as well. The things are so simple. Only thing is that we feel that it's a waste of time and we don't make use of it. And eventually we end up really wasting the time. So risk register, stakeholder register, schedule, work breakdown structure, earned value analysis, S-curve presentations, CPI, SPI indices presentation, trend analysis, what if analysis. This is fundamentally is an accountability of the project and program manager, but the contribution to all these things and appreciation after this is of the stakeholders. Idea behind this particular workshop is this. So what is the expectation after that? Post-learning practice implementation plan, PLPIP, flip. Now list the learning of the workshop, list the things that participants want to implement back in the work, define the time plan. For God's sake, please do not make use of this for any appraisals. Please do not make use of this for any assessment. This is a motivating tool for an individual who really want to learn. Now, this is an example. So, what is the training title? This was the training title. Who was the name of the trainer? Who was the trainer? Dhananjay Gokhale. Name of the participant. So, let him write it down. Now, what are my new learnings? List 3 major learnings in clear and specific manner. I would suggest participant not to say that I learned scope management. That means we have not learned anything. I can't learn scope management. Scope management is an outcome. I learned systematic visualization. Then the question comes in, how can I apply my new learning back at work? Now, my suggestion will be, this document is already sent. Right? Go through this document. This is an example. So how can I apply my new learning? I am doing, say, a project on this particular part. I would visualize the project in the systematic manner. So basically, whatever I have learned, I want to implement it. How will I implement it? This is where I will implement it. So while implementing, what kind of hindrance, resistance that I can expect, I must write it down. Now, action plan. Now, if my first learning is, I have learned systematic visualization, then first action is, I shall list deliverables and action, verbs and nouns for each part of the work. Perfectly alright. So when will I start doing that? Date, say today or tomorrow. Okay, what is the frequency? I will do it once in 2 days, or I'll do it every day, or I'll do it every hour. You decide it. But what is the end date? So if I have learned it, then I must implement it. So by when I think that it will become a muscle memory, so think like this. What is the support required? Do I really need a support? Yes, probably I would need support from my manager. I would need support from my buddy. Write it down. Most important is, how will you review the progress? What is the learning that you have done? Now that you have done this, how your output is being made more effective? I need to do that. So for example, each week I shall refine, add, modify the list of deliverables. I shall check the clarity, measurability that I'll bring in. I shall check continuously myself while working on the personal projects. So this is how I'll keep attention for the overall progress. And the last part is for the managers. Now, Once again, I'll give the quote from Bhagavad Gita. It's the psychology. It is very categorically said that everybody follows the superior. Sayat pramanam kurute, lokah tadanu vartate. Sayat pramanam kurute, lokah tadanu vartate. The way he does it, he means the superior person does it, the person reporting to him will do it. Now, here I don't expect managers, managers to do all these things. But now that you know that what is the learning experiences that they have gone through, you have the participant manual. You can ask participant to share the participant manual with you. Go through that and help the participant to write down the learning implementation plan. It must be very categorically drafted. It should not be non-measurable. And I'm sure all those participants who have worked honestly throughout this particular 6 interventions, their learning implementation plan would be fantastic. So, humble request from the management to the management, that is participant managers, is please ask questions in the similar manner. Rather than asking how is the project going, avoid that question. I can say that if I want to ask this particular question, how is the project doing? Probably I will ask, what is this schedule performance index of your project? What is this cost performance index of the project? Immediately, probably on the very first question, the participant may not be able to give the accurate answer, but at least the participant will understand that my manager asked the questions which is needed as a professional way of project managers. Ask, what is the SPI? What is the CPI? What is the EAC? How can you show me the 3 milestones, or can we discuss the milestones in next 3 weeks, or are there any critical milestones in next 1 month? So we can ask this, right? So the request for the managers is go through the learning that people want to implement, your participants want to implement, help them, and you can also go through the participant manual. And I have already mentioned that if managers need a sensitization session, I'm always ready to do that. But this is a complete change management perspective. It's actually a culture development. Project management is not a technical training, it's a cultural development training. An organization that sees the quantitative environment around. If there is a delay, organization knows that there is a delay. Program managers know that there is a delay. Having delay is not a problem. But not knowing the delay, or knowing the delay after having occurred or experienced it, that's a sin. And that is the reason the foundational focus of the project manager, program manager, is to be quantitatively alert, bring in visibility and predictability on what is and what would happen on the projects and programs. Once again, thank you very much for the entire management, support functions, L&D, HR, managers, participant themselves. Thank you so much. You can always contact me. You can definitely call me DG my number is 98220-31915. My email ID is there on the participant manual. It is dgdgonline@gmail.com, and website is dgdgonline.in. So thank you so much. Wish you all the best, and I can guarantee this will definitely make life more simple. We are the project managers. We are proud of it. We shall never get attached to a project. We shall never hate ambiguity and chaos. We shall bring in the predictability and visibility. We shall make life more simple, more beautiful, more meaningful. Thank you so much.